Emmy that year for co-writing the show's opening for Hugh Jackman. He co-wrote the Academy Award-nominated feature film Monster House and has written comic books as well as directed, produced, and acted in many TV shows and movies. It is my distinct pleasure right now to introduce you to 1988 graduate Rob Schrab.
Thank you, Lee Zarnoff. Let's give it up for the band here. People dressed in black, they're doing great, right? Thank you so much for this distinguished honor. I said this yesterday to you, Lee, that I'm always surprised whenever I leave an impression on anyone. And I'm also surprised to be here because I was the worst student in the history of MHS. I was horrible. I was terrible. Ask my parents. They're here. I was terrible at band, too. What was it, 30-second chair trumpet? I don't remember. Ooh, okay, so how did a self-absorbed, dyslexic, socially bankrupt man-child get from there? I graduated right there, Mr. Glasses, right where you're sitting, right there. He's got a first name, his last name isn't Glasses. I graduated right there, and how did I get from there to here in just 7 short years? It seems just like yesterday. I was lucky. But what is luck? Former head of Paramount, Robert Edwards, once said, luck is opportunity mixed with preparation. And let me illustrate that by telling you my story of how I got to where Glasses is sitting to here. During my time at Mayville High, I was known as the artist because I loved to draw. I had a lot of big stories in my head, and the only way to get them out was to take pencil to paper a lot. And in 1988, 2 things happened. I graduated from Mayville High School, and my future wife turned 6. Two notable things that happened in That year I was accepted to the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design because I drew so much. And on the first day, what they did is they sat you down in a big room and they said, your whole life you've been told you're special because you could draw well. Well, now you're in a room full of people that have been told the exact same thing. So if you want to stay special, you're going to have to work harder than you ever have in your entire life. Well, that's going to be a problem. Because I hate to work. Again, fact check with Mom and Dad. The center there. Hates too. But my dad told me once, if you love what you do, you never have to work hard or at all your entire life. And I loved to draw, and I loved to tell stories with my drawings. So, while I was supposed to be studying at art school, I drew comic books. And I got my stories out, and soon by the time I was graduating, I was known as the comic book artist. And I was special again. But I had no idea how to get into the comic book business. Not a clue. Several years later, doing an improvisation show. After the show, I got off stage and one of the audience came up to me and he said, "That was terrific. What a fun job you have." And I said, "Yes, it is. What do you do for a living?" And he says, "I print comic books." And less than a year later, my comic book, Scud the Disposable Assassin, was in stores all over the country. For the next 5 years, I self-published 20 issues of Scud. It launched 3 spin-off books, had 2 video games, an action figure, and in 1997, Oliver Stone optioned it to be made into a movie. Pretty lucky. And in 1998, I decided to be a part of the movie, so Dan Harmon, my best friend, and I packed up my Honda Civic and we moved to Los Angeles. But when I got there, I was told, comic book people don't write movies. Screenwriters write movies. Well, that sucks. I've been working on comic books this entire time. Nobody told me that. And I was pushed out of my project. I was pushed out of it. And I was terrified. My comic book did not make enough money to exist in super expensive Los Angeles. And I was starting to think this was a huge mistake moving out here. But then my friend Dan said, "Hey, how do you become a screenwriter?" And somebody said, "Well, you write a spec script." Spec means no one's paying you to do this. Little did Dan and I know that the entire time we were working on Scud, we were preparing to be screenwriters. And we wrote this spec script called Big Ant Movie. BAM for short. It was about giant ants taking over Los Angeles. And it got into the hands of a literary agent. And by coincidence, she had a meeting with Robert Zemeckis. And he literally said, "Do you know anybody who can write about big insects?" And in her briefcase was a script called Big Ant Movie. Yes, I was very, very lucky. Shockingly lucky. And I make it sound easy, right? That sounds pretty easy. Sometimes it is. Sometimes, not so much. Being an adult is hard. It really is. What are you kids gonna do? I mean, seriously, what are you gonna do? I think we should run. Let's go, run right now. No. Okay. Back to the thing. All right. Let me tell you something. I was there for 3 years, and all of a sudden, my luck stopped. It was the Christmas of 2001, and instead of enjoying the holidays, I was laying on the floor in Los Angeles in the darkest depression of my entire life. The fun bus had stopped and left me at the corner. The Scud movie faded into development. Hell, Monster House, the script that I wrote, was put on a shelf to collect dust, and the TV show I created was rejected because it was too weird. Believe it or not, too weird. And the model I was dating actually told me, "I can't be your girlfriend. What happens if I'm with you and I meet my soulmate?"